Cool. It's the YMOB on the 5th of July 2018. We've just discussed how we think that the payer being able to specify the address of the contract is the next most important thing to do. Even though this is a very bare bones interface, if you know what's going on, you can still use it because you can do some stuff in the console. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that this is the way to do it, isn't it? Is to specify the address in the URL, and that can get pulled into the program.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the alternative is you could just stick with console, yeah.
The alternative you could stick with is doing this all from the console.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You could even do this part from the console.
Oh, we could do that right now. Could we?
Yeah, I think.
Can we see if we can do that right now?
Okay. I guess the thing is you'd need to reboot the Elm program, and you're out. I think we're outside a use case here because you'd be given a URL. You'd definitely be given a URL anyway. You wouldn't then expect to. You'd expect a new URL from every payee.
I guess you would.
You wouldn't expect to go to the website and then put their address in.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah. So if you'd expect it, so there is a question of organization here, which is if you'd expect it from payee or contract, but I guess that's sort of YAGNI, and it's such a trivial change to change in the future. So for now, having the address in the query string seems reasonable.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because at the moment the contract and the payee are the same thing. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I mean, the payee can have more than one contract, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so therefore putting the contract address in here means that they can specify different contracts.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think we'd certainly never want like a nested index route for getting all the contracts associated with a payee.
No. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure what the use for that would be. Okay. Does anybody know the API for this? How to get the off the top of their head? Because I'm just going to have to look it up.
Address. Sorry, you asked the API for this?
How do you get a query string value from when the page loads?
Yeah, question mark thingy equals whatever.
Yeah. I know that. I'm just. Saying,
sorry.
So once the page loads,
Etherscan?
Etherscan?
I don't know. It's a API service that create a free API key token for the client part or my API key area.
I'm not sure we've understood your question yet.
No. So the browser has an API.
Yes.
Lets you pluck let us pluck the address from the URL and put it into the program where it needs to be, which is here.
Oh, right. It's like window.url maybe. I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay. So it's going to be window. We should look at
location.href.
Yeah. I think it's more because then we need to drill down to the search string or the query string. Let's see if we can find it on here.
Woof.
That's the closest.
Yeah, everybody's either, hang on. Yeah, no, everybody's either using jQuery or rolling their own thing. It surprises me that there's not like a just out of the box. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there is. Because I've done it before, but I can't remember how to do it.
You can do window get parameter by name if that's what you want.
Good.
Mm,
That sounds really good. And then just specify address.
yeah. Yeah, so let me just forward, and you may already be looking at this, and there's kind of a lot of answers. But I just posted it to the chat.
I'll try it straight away. Window dot get parameter by name address.
Yeah, maybe we can try that in the console first.
Oh yeah, good idea.
It'll just give us quicker and less frustrating feedback. One of my biggest concerns when I'm coding is like, how do I mitigate or mollify my frustration because I'm so easily frustrated? And when I get above a certain threshold, I just can't work effectively anymore.
Yeah, so tight feedback loops are really good for that, aren't they?
Yeah. So I see you tried it and it didn't work. Get parameter by name.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that easy. And it's not on there either.
Yeah.
This link you sent me.
I see. So it looks like they home rolled it.
And then attached it to window.
Yeah. One moment. Right. Hope y'all don't mind if I eat a little while we do this.
No problems.
That was my mom. Like you, Will, I live with my folks, and over here I help take care of my dad. Yeah. But sometimes they help take care of me, as in the case of bringing some food.
Yeah, it's nice. Like I'm interested in looking forward to moving out, but I'll miss having people to eat with in the evenings.
Definitely. I won't be moving out anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
It's all trade-offs, right? You've been enjoying all the good stuff about living with your folks. Now you'll get to enjoy all the good stuff of living alone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Oh, that's awesome. That wasn't hard at all.
No. Like that one.
Why do we need to slice one it in order to get down to what we want?
Yeah, and that's the only bit I don't like. I wonder if we can.
I get it. I get it. So it's just getting rid of that first question mark.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't give URL search params something neater.
We did something similar to this in, last week with Funk, but it was with Ruby. So I guess that doesn't help so much. But it was like it was with the fragment.
Would it help if we just put a comment here that to refactor this? Let's see if this works. Yeah. Well, that's working, isn't it? There's no more address in there now. Yeah, it's still working. Cool. Okay. So if we change this, it should break. Okay. Now what? Actually, you know what? We should have committed. I should have committed before, and now and I forgot.
Simple change. We can always roll back and do the partial and commit.
Okay. How do we do that?
So can't we just stash what we have unless we want it later, and then just work from that?
Yeah, I think you can do that, but yeah, you should be able to just say get status, and then it'll tell you, like, if it's something that you've already committed before, then I think you reset. But if it's something you haven't committed, then you can just say get checkout in the file, and then it'll change the back in your editor to where. Yeah, but I'm not sure if that will, since you haven't. Yeah, like it just.
Nah.
But I think you're asking specifically what like changes would we remake, right, Will?
I'm principled against. I'm not going to undo the changes that we've done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To go just for the sake of the version history. So maybe it's just like, let's commit. I'll commit something now that says what we've done from the git diff. So.
Oh gosh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we didn't. I guess we didn't. I didn't commit this at the end of the last development. So.
Yeah. Do you have GitHub UI or any kind of GitHub GUI by any chance?
I think I used to, but I got rid of it.
Well, the nice thing about the nice thing about the GitHub GUIs is that they all allow you to really, really precisely identify exactly what stuff you want to roll into a commit, including down to like the file. Select what lines from a file you want to put into the commit. So if you back yourself into a bind where you made maybe one or two sets of changes, and for those commits to be really nicely separated in terms of their concerns, roll them in one by one set by one set. You can do that really easily, but you got rid of yours.
Yeah, because one time it like threw away some work that I was doing.
Oh gosh!
So I got rid of it.
But the changes that you made today are pretty consistent with what you like. The git diff is. The difference was when we ping ponged last week, I think I passed it to you and we were hard coding the 1% in, and then you grab that and put in the actual grabbing it from the contract.
Yeah.
And what you did today is just not hard coding in the address. So which you had a note there to git ignore that line anyways. So I'm not sure if you need to. Wouldn't you just commit right now and say like something about grabbing the information from the contract instead of hard coding it?
Yeah. So I'm looking at tracked, those are the two files that are modified, and the untracked file. So if I did a git add all now, that untracked file would be tracked, and I don't want to track it. So I need to git ignore it. I need to ignore that build folder using this. Okay. Yeah. So git add.
Those changes to the package lock,
those should be. What I understand is that package lock should be committed to the repository.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the difference would be, Jane, when you pulled it down from mine and.
Yeah,
well, we probably ran npm install, yeah, and
yeah, I did do that when I got.
Yeah, and my guess is you've got something in there that's maybe not pinned to its version, something that's loosely versioned, and that's what got updated.
I think that's what it looked like. Yeah, that was within. Yeah, no, that would make sense. That makes sense. So we'll carry on with that. That's okay. How do we say this?
Good enough.
Yeah. I'll get better at those messages once I start reading them. There's all kinds of rules, aren't there? And guidelines about what to write. Okay. No.
I don't even know what they are. I just know what I like to do.
That's reassuring. Okay, so 1% on any contract that you specify. Okay. Now, what's the next most useful thing? I think it's going to be some kind of pay functionality, isn't it?
When you say pay functionality, you mean pay functionality accessible through the UI?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. So you can see that there's 1% on the contract, and you're like, cool, that's what they said. So let's go ahead and pay them. Okay. So at the moment that is done through the contract, by calling a function that calls the contract. So I guess what will have to happen here is that Elm will have to call that function rather than me calling it in the console.
Yeah.
So we just need to write some code that's going to call that function from Elm. And I think the way to do it would be to work outward from the function that you can call here, so that we know what is required in the interface. It's a shame in a way that we don't have interactive access to the function itself. So maybe that's something that can be written here.
So MetaMask is what's giving us this console API, right? That's like a clean pass-through to the contract?
Yeah, MetaMask giving us Web3, and then we can use Web3 to get a reference to the contract.
Mm-hmm.
The app has that, which is here, this var inst object.at. So that's the contract instance. So if really, it would be nice to be able to like go inst dot pay and donate, which I know is the name of the function, and then see see what that does.
Why did we call it inst instead of contract?
Because we were doing things very fast. So
Oh, okay.
so.
I mean, also, that's what you were following a guide that was talking about instantiating the objects, and that's the variable they used, I think. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they differentiated between the contract instance and the contract object, maybe. But yeah, the idea is that there's some kind of constructor, which is like this. And then you get the contract there.
Can I see that one more time? Just a little bit further up.
Yes. So this was called.
Okay, var contract. Okay, and that's like you specifying all the kinds of data on that contract that you want to pull back.
Yeah. So this, this here is the ABI, the application binary interface, which is the interface for the contract. So there's pay and donate, and it has that output. It's payable. It's a function rather than an event. So yeah, you specify first the ABI, and then actually we could just do all this in one go, and then you specify the address. We don't need that intermediate, so we can just do this. We could just cut that there, add that there, and we'll change this bit to there, and we can get rid of the big C contract now. Yeah, you specify the interface and the contract's address, so that you've got a reference to the contract.
Yeah, I don't mind having them separate, but I guess I don't mind having them glommed together right now.
Yeah, there's no reason to have access to the intermediate for now. So
yeah.
Okay.
Like if you were going to pull a different contract in the life cycle of the app for whatever reason, then you would want that abstracted out into like a Y contract data schema constant or something. And that's what you would then use to call that other contract, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's not really sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and that must be what it's for, isn't it? If you've got the same contract at different addresses, then you can get lots of them. That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm going to stop crunching so loud.
I'm just wondering here whether to what to do. It's really nice to have access for testing from here. But I guess the test for that. No, we've already written tests for pay and donate. Now it's just a case of wiring it up to the interface. Okay, let's just make it work and see if we need it on the way. So, Ryder, do you know about ports? And Matt, are you still there? They've gone.
There were
there.
ships. There were
Yeah.
ships. Go.
So do you know about ports in Elm? I think you're muted, Matt.
No, I'm not meeting. Sorry, you were talking. I thought you asked Ryder if you knew about parts.
Oh,
No,
I said that's where ships come in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, parts are like where like the local host is listening.
Oh no. Okay. So remember last time we looked at flags, which is like the name of data that you send to an Elm program when you start it up.
Yeah. And then
you
can ports are flags, right?
Yeah, right. Well, ports is for something different. Ports is for once the Elm program is running, communicating between JavaScript and Elm.
Okay.
So sending data through ports. So here we're going to have to ask, like Elm is going to have to send some information to JavaScript so that JavaScript then calls the function that's connected up to the contract.
Yeah. I'm looking at the page that we the Elm guides that we were looking at last time.
Okay. So I need somewhere. Right, and I think I can do it here. So, oh no, I can't. Where can I do this? So it's definitely a case of, okay, I'm going to pull up the guide because then we've got the reference.
I'm going to send you, I don't know if it helps if I send you a link. But
I've got it, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Port is a pub sub thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's how it's defined in Elm. We'll come back to that. We're just looking for, I'm looking for the JavaScript at the moment. So there's the Elm app being started up. Then you've got app.ports.check, which is the name of the port in this case, so check, .subscribe. So that's what we want to do here. We want to subscribe to, then we're going to be listening for anything coming out of the port that's going to call the pay and donate function. And then it does it. And then it actually uses, so here's their spell check function in JavaScript. So we need to do app.ports.pay and donate, I guess.
Oh, you mean that spell check function, which is a comment and a return the input?
Yeah.
Well, return an empty array.
Yeah. .subscribe. Okay, and let's just, for now, let's just console log that. We'll have to look console log something, don't we? I reckon here is that app is going to be undefined, isn't it? Because it's not. Here's where app is undefined at this point. Then it gets defined when this happens, when we call the donation proportion. So it's going to happen inside this callback. We're going to have to define, we have to do this apps.port bit inside the contract, inside this callback.
Okay, why is that called app on 120? First of all, maybe a better question than that is, what is that elm.main.fullscreen? This is a message we're sending to the Elm.
Yeah, this is what starts Elm up, and then it gives your JavaScript a reference to the Elm program.
Okay. So the proportion to percent is the flag?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It's a function that then passes something to the
Okay. I see. All right. So the app, I am understanding that naming a little bit better. I would never call it app. I would call it Y app, or I don't know. I would just call it something to situate it a little bit better in the place that it lives.
Yeah. Okay. So
but
LMAP probably would be.
Yeah, you're right. And there are all kinds of like religious wars we can have over, you know, whether that's a good idea or not. But I think it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious that it's.
It's obvious it's an Elm map, right? If you look at that call, if you know how Elm maps work. And so I like to design things in a way that it's easy for newcomers to come and look at it. Like my design sensibility is I would rather put off an experienced developer, a touchy experienced developer, mind you, by being like, hey, here's this basic thing, and they're like, well, I know that, and I would rather do that than leave a junior or somebody new in this area scratching their head.
Yeah, that's a good principle. I like that. Yeah, and I guess it applies here. Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah, you tend to want to follow conventions. Yeah, it's interesting. But that convention's only coming from here. Yeah. Okay. So let's create a pay and donate port in Elm. And then, yeah. Does anybody else want to be driving, by the way? I know I'm driving here.
If I drive, I know we'll slow down. Which I'm okay with. I just and also we've almost run out the hour, yeah? Or how long are y'all free?
Yeah.
I had a pair program that was starting 18 minutes ago, but it was actually we were confused and it was set for the wrong time. So I'm not going to be going to that for another 45 minutes. So I'm okay.
Nice.
Keep going. And yeah, driving. I'm always keen to, but also like I'm think that it's nice watching you do as well instead of just you telling me type this and this is why. So I don't know. I think like it would be nice to have some like sessions where we switch drivers, but it doesn't have to be today. You know?
Yeah, I guess just like
if you're keen to drive, why don't you drive? That's my thinking.
Yeah, I'm always keen to drive, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting what you say though about like me talking and you just typing, because when you don't know what you're doing exactly, you either have to just trust what the person's saying, but it's not the same, is it, as reading the documentation yourself, working it out for yourself, and then you typing it. But you never ever have that amount of time in a pair programming session.
Yeah,
because. I mean, I guess the idea in a pair programming session is that you both know as much as each other, as far as possible.
That's one model of a pair programming session.
Yeah, because and then like the real the benefit of doing it is that you're going to catch mistakes. That's how I think that's how it was originally conceived, wasn't it? It wasn't as a teaching learning tool.
Yeah, you're probably correct.
The reason, I think that it's difficult to say, like, because there's probably things that I know more about than one of you. I mean, that's maybe a little bit more difficult to conceive.
I would say definitely.
Well, yeah, of course. Like,
So then
I don't know
I think
anything
when
about
it comes to Elm, like you definitely know more for sure. But yeah, like the idea of like just not just pairing together, but just working together on anything is the fact that you can trade your experiences, and one person is more experienced in one thing than the other, and you working together, you're stronger than if you're working alone, you know. But
yeah, I mean, I guess you're doing it because you want that. There's a conflict, isn't there, between, so if you're doing it to learn from somebody else, then there's going to be a big knowledge gap. That's the whole point. And that means that if you're driving, you're going to just have to be trusting what they're saying.
mm-hmm.
So there's a conflict between the two, like, uses of the pair programming.
Yes, because one is like, let's roll the thing out, and one is like, you know, let's scale people up.
Yeah, which I'd never really thought of before. I'd always wondered why pair programming sometimes it just, yeah, that's interesting.
So in a context where we're going to be collaborating together over a long period, which is reasonably reasonable to surmise in this context, like the tension dissipates somewhat, and it's actually more weighted in favor of, let's roll the thing out. In order to roll the thing out, it's in our best interests for everybody to get skilled up as quickly as possible. Therefore, let's slow down and skill up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the more that team works together and over a longer period of time, the more you're going to start, let's slow down and skill up, outpace the let's roll it out mentality.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely think we're building a better product for doing it together.
Yeah.
And it's nice, and like development skill as well. I always like to discuss what I'm thinking about, what my latest thought is, which is nice.
I have a technical interview tomorrow, which is the first one I've had in a long time, and I just have to say I'm so stoked to be spending this time with the two of you today, because I feel like it's really helping me prepare for that.
Yeah.
I think as well, like just to keep in mind that like the best way to make sure that you remember something is to actually teach other people, you know.
Yeah. And
because
to be capable of it as well. You
it's one thing
go on.
It's one thing to know something, and it's another thing to be able to explain to another person. There's lots of times that I think I understand something, and then it's like, well, explain it to me, and then it's like, oh, well, hold on, maybe I don't know it as much as I think I do.
Yeah. Okay, so Matt, do you want to drive?
I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to answer no to that question.
Okay. The only difficult thing is I'm going to have to commit. What can I do? Can I stash this or something? What can I do?
Or is there something you can do meaningful that would warrant a commit, and then we switch drivers?
What's the diff look like right now?
Yeah.
Okay, rename that thing.
Yeah, so essentially what you've done is in this diff is strictly the refactor and scaffolding out the pub sub, right?
Yeah, we could just do that bit again because I really haven't done anything there.
Yeah, because you did one refactor for the contract schema model, the contract interface, which we were assigning to a constant, and then the contract instantiation. You made another change, which was the app to LMAP. And then you made this other change, which was the beginnings of the ports pay and donate, calling this thing that doesn't yet exist.
Yeah.
And those were the three changes in this diff. And we could, as you say, just do them again.
Yeah. All right.
Honestly, simple changes like that, where you're just kind of like snuffing it and you get a blank slate, it really helps you motivate it, because it takes effort, trivial though it may be, to implement those changes again. And so your mind is like, if you're lazy like me, it's like, what's the easiest way I can do this? And if you don't see a compelling benefit to the refactor you just did, that refactor might not be valid, and it might be good that it doesn't end up making it in, you know?
Okay, yeah.
I'm just lazy.
I mean, I guess like it would probably help me to do that again as well, because I have to admit I wasn't 100%. I was trying to figure out this thing with the other pair programming thing I had scheduled for 20 minutes ago, so it would probably help me as well.
Although it looks like we have a problem.
Yeah, so develop is protected.
By who?
Yeah, did you protect that? Because I agree in principle, like it would be better to have a more modularly and specifically named branch than develop that was speaking to precisely what we're doing on that branch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does appear.
Isn't that what commits are for? Like, at what point do you naming your commits? At what point do you branch off from develop? Is it when you're not sure about something? When you branch off from develop, it's because you want to come back to develop, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
But then you yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a question of yeah, how you want to do that whole thing, right? Do you have master and things merge to master? Do you have a release named branch and things merge to that release branch? And then the current release merges to master? I mean, there's a whole lot of ways to organize this.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah.
The way I'm approaching it is doing the simplest thing until it becomes a problem.
Yeah, that seems really good.
Because I've tried to look at all of this before and plan out like what the best way to do things is, but in practice, I've never learned anything other than just do the simplest thing. With it, I've never had a problem doing the simplest thing. I'm not saying that I won't, but I'm just saying that that's the way. That seems to be the most rational way to learn how to do it.
It does to me too.
Because I don't worry about just taking what's working and starting it in a new repository and that being then the initial commit. It doesn't really bother me. It's not like this is being used and it needs to be really stable or anything. So
yeah.
It's
not like there necessarily has to be preserved for posterity, tinkering around to get it into the state where it is now.
No. What did it say here about?
Yeah, it said the protected branch hook. So I would think that your branch is just protected. Like it's not going to be. Hang on. What is this right here? What's that?
Are you trying to push up to the Agile Ventures? Yeah, couldn't you just push up to your Y, or because I think it's the Agile Ventures Y that's protected.
Well, we cloned this from the Agile Ventures Y. So that's why when I've done git push, it's done it back up to where I cloned it from.
Can you show us your web browser? HTTP, okay. Hooks, waffle, API projects, blah, 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 blah. So is that the event that just happened? What is that? I have no idea what that is.
I guess this is something to do with waffle. I've never used waffle, but it's something that's set up. Either like Federico set it up for me or something I never bothered with.
Okay.
But I don't think that's what the problem is here.
No, I don't think so either. And actually, I would suspect that based on what we're seeing, well, this is kind of, anyway, but that we wouldn't find that here, and that this is just it says hooks, which is a little bit, in this case, even though it might be technically under the hood true, potentially sending us down a rabbit hole. Because really all I think that's going on is that the develop branch is protected. And
yeah, so okay.
If we go to branches, if we click on 2 branches and look at the develop branch, so right next to, hang on, no, further up. This is where the GitHub UI is maybe a little bit suboptimal, but that 2 branches tab, yeah. Okay, so active branch, yeah, develop, and if we click on that, and this takes us back just to where you were going anyway. There's somewhere in here, is it in settings? Because I know we were just in settings, but branches, there we go. Yeah. Default branch is considered and branch protection rules. Great. Protect branches. Yeah. So if we go to develop edit, we should see that it's protected. Protect this branch. Yep.
Require pull request reviews. So if I unprotect this, that's okay, isn't it? Because then I can just, it's up to, well, okay.
So I might still protect it to prevent force pushes and prevent it from being deleted, but you can unclick the require pull requests before merging. And status checks, I don't even know what status checks you have on.
Okay, so let's save that and then try again.
Yeah, and you may have to, because you have checked also, or tick box ticked, however we want to do this. And so it still might not work, but yeah, I agree with you. Getting feedback is good.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So you think I should try and push again now?
Yeah, and let's just see if it says the same thing, which it very well might, or it might not. Hey, cool.
All right. Over to you, Matt.
Awesome. So I need to set that as my upstream though, right? Because I don't have that. I just have Origin. So I need to add the remote add.
Are you a contributor on the repo?
I don't know. I probably not, because I've just it looks like I've just forked it, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll share my screen as well.
Yeah. Probably switching over to Matt.
I don't know if that's gonna if it's distracting with both screens. I don't know. Can you guys see okay, or should I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab that and add upstream. And if I say get remote -v.
Oh, I see. You're trying to solve the problem of being able to see us and work at the same time on one monitor.
Kind of, like, not necessarily see you, because if I think it's really distracting if I'm like this, because then what you see is that but just yeah, I mean, I can unplug the monitor if it's distracting.
No. It's I'm just wanting to understand what you're doing.
I just I feel like I like using 2 monitors, and it seems like when I pair program, I'm getting in the habit of unplugging the monitor, because I think it's more difficult for people to follow along with what I'm doing. But I don't really know that, because and on Linux for some reason it doesn't. Well, it seems like it's a Linux thing or a Hangouts thing, that it doesn't give me the option of sharing one or the other. It gives me the option of either sharing both or sharing one particular tab, which is not useful.
I see.
So if I open this up, and
what the trouble? Okay, I remember now why we switched over to me driving was because I had MetaMask installed.
yeah. Oh man. So that's an extension though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, so at this stage in the UI, we would be requiring our users to have MetaMask installed in order to.
Yeah.
Well,
And
but just yeah.
yeah. The answer is yes. And I know that that's that's a problem. Long term, it's just the best that can be done at the moment. I think like a really important part of cryptocurrency is going to be how you can use it without having to buy it separately, and it's got to be abstracted away. I think because payment at the moment is so easy
Mm.
and so non-volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you ever use cryptocurrency for a transfer of value? There's no reason to do, there's no reason to send money with cryptocurrency for most purposes. Like I just bought I ordered a new laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and the payment was a separate step. And I said, "Hey, can I pay using this thing?" They were like, "No, I just accept." Because the steps that they'd have to go through to accept Ether,
Yeah.
they'd have to get MetaMask,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'd be holding this currency whose value could change
Yes.
in an hour.
Yes.
So it has to be abstracted away and instantaneously transferred back to your native currency.
Right. Yes.
And
Yes. Yes. Yes.
until that works, I guess this isn't going to go anywhere apart from people who have already bought into using Ether.
Yeah.
Most of those people aren't doing it for transferring for payment. They're doing it
Yeah.
to make money.
And of those two steps, I think the much harder problem to solve is the instantaneous cash out.
Yeah. So well, okay. So there's So the closest that I know of it to that process is something called Interledger, which is a protocol so that ledgers can work together. So the bank is a ledger, Ethereum is a ledger, and then the recipient's bank is a ledger. But I guess for that to work, it's going to mean that the banks are going to have to buy in. Like the banks are going to have to go, okay, yeah, we're going to connect our ledgers to Interledger so that we can. It's like it's like the internet for ledgers.
Mm.
But for them to do that, like what's going to motivate them to do that? I don't have any control over that. Then I think that there's a way that you can run some kind of node that does that means that you can have some kind of cash float to make things work. Yeah. But I don't. I guess that to different people on the forums, and I've got different responses. Some are like, "Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait for the banks," but one guy seemed to think that I could set something up myself, and it's just something that I've never prioritized. But every time I ask somebody to use Y, I get a no, and I think it's because it's just too complicated to get set up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely a big factor. So
yeah,
I've never known when to stop developing Y and start trying to make that part work. I guess having Y working would be a reason to get that working, wouldn't it? Otherwise, I don't have a reason to get it working.
I mean, not as like visceral a reason.
No. I just feel that would, if that was an easy thing to do, that would have already been done.
Mm-hmm.
There's already people looking at that. So maybe by the time we've got Y working, then it will be done. Who knows?
Maybe I am really curious what the incentive for getting that work done would be.
Yeah. Well, it would be to, if there were smart contracts like Y that could make some kind of difference to commerce.
Yeah.
Then that's an incentive to use, to do that, right?
Right, but it's getting people either to empirically see or to buy into the idea that it would make a difference for commerce.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. How can you even get it started? Well, I guess that it's important to build it and at least market it to people who are already using Ether.
Yeah.
That's one way to start.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's one way to start, isn't it? Yeah.
So Matt, have you got MetaMask up or?
Yeah, I just had a question. Sorry, because like this thing about like MetaMask, it says like these 12 words are the only way to restore your accounts, save them somewhere safe and secret, and we're actually like broadcasting this on live.
Oh
so
man, I should have. Okay, so do like refresh that. So unshare your screen.
Yeah, seems like.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I normally catch that. Okay, and like obviously get some new seed words.
So get a new seed words. How? You said refresh it by doing what?
If you go back to it, are they different?
No.
Can you put your own words in?
Let me see. It looks like you might be able to.
Yeah, I thought so.
No, it looks like you can. It looks like a text field that you can change, but you can't. I've copied somewhere safe or save seed words as file. No, vault created. Maybe if I change my password or settings.
Yeah, I don't know how that's seeded. Other than reinstalling it, yeah, try everything.
Yeah, that's the only thing that occurs to me. But what else can we try? Yeah.
But it must be seeded somehow, mustn't it? It must be seeded from something random, which I guess it has to be your password.
Let's see. Seed phrases I back up in our store. Recovery seed phrase. No. How to import a new account with seed words.
Yeah. I'm looking through these Google results too, and I'm not seeing anything so far about changing your seed words.
No, this is probably the first time it's ever mattered.
I find that difficult to believe, but maybe.
Yeah, okay, but it might not be a priority for MetaMask. But what we're trying to do here is change
one of those things about security through obscurity. Is anyone actually going to watch this video?
That's not possible to know.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only way to make it sure nobody. I mean, actually, there's no way now because we're broadcasting live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't know. I'd suggest reinstall it and then
see if that changes.
It's only like a file to reinstall.
Yeah, it's really easy. It took just a second to do it.
Yeah.
Let me try again.
But that does raise the question of how is it a random seed word?
Yeah, so now it's not asking me to change my password. It's just asking me to enter my password. So, or restart from seed phrase, but then the seed phrase I don't want to use anymore. So yeah, it goes back. So when I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, it goes back to the same thing that is like vault created and tells me that to save these 12 words somewhere.
And they're the same 12 words.
Yeah.
What? Oh no. So is that because your password is the same?
I mean, it didn't ask me to change my password, you know.
Right.
It just went back to the same exact place that I left off, you know.
How can it?
Info/help. Let's see what that.
How can it?
Yeah, it doesn't even let me go to anything until I confirm that I've copied the seed word somewhere.
How can it remember your password from when you uninstalled it?
I don't know.
We are making an assumption that the seed words are coming from the password. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but that's the only source of randomness, isn't it?
So there's no like username or anything associated with it?
No, it doesn't seem like it. It didn't ask me for a username. So, I mean, I guess if maybe I didn't, I mean, I uninstalled it by coming to my add-ons, my extensions, and saying remove. And then it says MetaMask has been removed. And then I came back to the Firefox add-ons and said add to Firefox. And then, yeah, asked me to give it permission to access all my stuff. And then I come back and yeah, then it goes back to the same page where it's saying to enter my password, which is different.
I would clear out all of your, internet files for the last hour.
Yeah.
And try and do the same thing. I did post something to the chat. It's not a great option, but just how to delete your MetaMask account thing, which involves opening a ticket with them, and they'll actually go in and blow up, your data in their DB.
They shouldn't have a database.
Well, wherever it is that they're storing it. Sorry, not DB. Wait, can you blow it up then?
But it should all be local. Everything about MetaMask is local.
Is local. Oh, all right. Well, then maybe, yeah, if we get rid of all the internet stuff.
So, clear recent history.
Yeah, not just history, like everything. It's like there's a clear... You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you want to clear the cache for your extension, really, if you can. But the fact that it remembers your password from the last install, you want to get rid of that, right? I don't have your version of Firefox to work in. This is new to me that MetaMask is now available for Firefox.
Yeah, I tried adding it as a Chrome extension, and it didn't come up as. But then I Googled it, and then the first option was Firefox. But then I later saw that it was available for Chrome.
Huh.
So I'm in my add-ons, and I don't see anything saying clear history of add-ons. Recent updates, check for updates, reset all add-ons to update automatically.
I mean, but you've gone into clear browsing data?
No. Where's I just found the stuff about history. I haven't found anything about.
Yeah. So this is Chrome, you said?
No, it's Firefox.
Oh, it's Firefox.
Yeah. Toggle tools inspector open. So
Matt's probably thinking like, oh man,
what have I got myself into?
Why?
No, I mean the biggest thing I think that, is that I have to go soon. Unfortunately,
are you on a Mac, Matt?
No, I'm on Linux.
Oh, you're on Linux.
Yeah.
I've got keyboard shortcuts here for Windows and Mac.
I wonder if it is it something I can do from the command line?
Control-Shift-Delete in Windows will get you to the clearing cache cookies history dialog.
Yeah, so that works for it goes to clear recent history. Yeah, so clear recent history is browsing and download history, farm and search history, cookies, cache, active logins. The only thing is not checked on that by default is offline website data and site preferences.
Have you already cleared all of this?
Yeah, I've cleared it for the last hour. I could do for 2 hours, but
so you cleared it for an hour and it still was doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try again because maybe when I cleared it the first time, I had MetaMask still as an add-on. So I'll just try again. MetaMask, add to Firefox.
This isn't promising.
Okay, so let's open the same page as before. That's good. Oh yeah, cool. So now it's asking me to accept the terms of use, which I'm gonna have to just trust Will, or because I don't have time to read all that.
Yeah, they're good guys. I've not had any problems with them for over a year.
Okay.
Awesome.
I wonder if I put the same password, if it'll generate the same, but I'll just, to save time, not put the same password. Cool. I have new 12 words.
Yes.
If you're watching, trying to, I don't know. Cool. So, and then
if I guess them, you owe me $1 million. Newt, boots, broke, clock, camel, elephant.
How many words is that?
6 or 7.
That was very close, actually. All right.
I should quit my job and join the circus guessing people's weights.
Or maybe you've actually somehow hacked into my machine. So I think that's, hold on, me.
But you have to go now, Matt, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing we switched drivers, no?
Yeah, right.
It was good because now, yeah, it was good.
Well, let me share my screen with you so you can see the progress that I've made. So now I have this here. Look at that.
Yes.
Woo!
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a couple minutes, but I need to get the thing started as well. So.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's good. It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should go and have my dinner, I think.
And now at least I'm set up to pair.
Yeah, right. You're set.
In the
We
future.
have to do this at some point, I guess. If we, yeah.
It was great coding with you guys. Thanks for running this, Will.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know, Ryder, if you wanted to continue, I can go for another little while.
I gotta take off.
Okay, cool.
Cheers.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Ryder's gone. I'll see you soon, Matt.
Yeah, see you soon. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah.